while writing for the website and doing this YouTube channel, I come across a lot of interesting sailing facts that are beyond the obvious. So when you ask people to tell them a bit about sailing, you often get all these cliches, right? Didn't pirates used to live on pirate ships? There are also a lot of interesting sailing facts you probably don't know. And one of the most interesting ones, I think, is the fact that the trade winds are not named after trade, but it's the other way around. So stay tuned and find out more. Here are my 10 top interesting sailing facts. But before I jump in, I wanted to ask you to subscribe to the channel. I'm putting a lot of effort into this channel, and there's new videos coming out each week with good content, good quality information. Give us a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, you know what to do. My first interesting fact, I think, is the fact that historical ships are often misrepresented. Well, as with anything with Hollywood, right? So these large galleons and the old school pirate ships you often think of, like this one, those were not built until the late Renaissance. So the reason they couldn't build these large ships is because the extended beams running from bow to stern, from front to aft, they were too weak. So they would often rot out, and very large ships, so experimental ships they built, they just sunk after a couple of years. So here's something you probably didn't know. The trade winds are named after... Nope, they're not named after trade. Trade is named after the trade winds. So how does this came about? Well, our ancestors, they found the Atlantic Sea had very reliable wind paths, and the Middle English word for path or track is actually trade. And they based their entire foreign commerce on these trade winds, and they were so important to the foreign commerce that they named the whole damn thing after trade. My next interesting fact is that you can operate a 100-foot sailboat on your own. That's right. So people often stay under 35 feet single-handed, but it is possible to sail a 100-feet sailboat by yourself. And the world record holder Francois Gabard, he sailed the 100-foot trimaran massif around the world. But you have to rig it the right way, so you need the right setup. If your sail plan's right and you get the right travelers and winches and stuff, you can automate a lot of stuff as well, so you need the right electronical systems. You can operate a 100-foot sailboat by yourself. You need to be experienced though, and Francois Gabard certainly was. The hardest part of sailing by yourself is the actual docking, and there are a lot of harbors and docks and marinas that offer docking services, especially for this fact. Fact number 4. The youngest person ever to circumnavigate the world was a Dutch girl named Laura Dekker, and she was just 16 when she did it, which is awesome. The Guinness Book of World Records don't allow the youngest circumnavigation to be added to the book because they don't want to encourage 14-year-olds to go off in a sailboat alone. Feeling blue originally is a sailing term. So when a ship lost its captain, they would raise the blue flag indicating that they lost their captain, and that's where the term feeling blue comes from. "Arr, you son of a gun" means you was born near the guns. So whenever a woman was aboard and gave birth to a son on sea, they would sign your name being son of a gun if they didn't know who the father was, referring to your birthplace between the cannons. The world record sailing speed is about 65 knots, 65.45 knots, which is 75 miles per hour, which is incredibly fast if you ask me. Paul Larsen from Australia is the fastest sailor of all time. It's the world record. For 500 meters he got up to 65 knots. The fastest 24 hours was by Pascal Bidégory at 908 nautical miles at 37.84 knots, which is about 70 miles per hour. 44 miles per hour, 70 kilometers per hour, which is also incredibly fast. fact number 8. I need your expert opinion on this one. So the largest sailing vessel on Earth is 470 feet long, or 143 meters. Or not, because it's actually a sail-assisted motor yacht. And it's from the Netherlands, my hometown. From Rotterdam, Oceanco built it. Shipyard Oceanco, and it's called the Black Pearl. And it's tremendous. It looks so gorgeous. So here it is. It has 3 junk-rigged masts, and they are huge, and everything is operated automatically, electronically. And it's a very, very beautiful yacht. It's gigantic, and it's one of the most advanced in the world. So what do you think? Is this called a sailboat, or is this called a motor yacht with sails? Leave your opinion in the comments below. The most popular sail rig, the Bermuda, is based off a lateen Moorish, Moorish lateen rig, and it was developed by another Dutch man, well, one of our previous colonies. So Bermuda, no, what am I saying? It was a Dutch guy from Bermuda, and he developed the Bermuda rig. So it was inspired by the Moorish lateen rig, and they got to know this in the Spanish-Dutch Independence War, where a lot of Spanish boats were used, a lot of ocean warfare, obviously, since the Dutch and the Spanish both had very strong fleets at the time. And well, the Dutch, they just ripped off the Spanish Moorish lateen rigs, and they developed the sloop, the Bermuda Sloop rig, which was very, very successful, and now it's the most popular rig around. The reason it's so popular is it's superior in maneuverability. So it handles extremely well, and especially upwind. It has very good upwind characteristics, way, way better than the square-rigged sails from that period. You know those incredible tall ships with the square-rigged sails I just talked about? Well, there was one with 5 masts, a 5-masted tall ship, and she was impressive. And she was built in 1902, and she was too fast, and that is what sunk her in the end. So the story is as follows. Until 2000, when the Swedes built the Royal Clipper, a 5-masted tall ship, this was the only one ever built, and ever built after that. She sailed between Germany and Chile, and she was capable of carrying a lot of goods at high speeds. The hull length was 433 feet, or 132 meters. She carried 47 sails, which is, I think you will agree, it's a lot of sails. It's a lot of sails. So in 1910, just 8 years after her initial launch, she sunk in the English Channel due to a collision. So it was a small cross-channel steamer, the Brighton. Shame on you, Brighton. And the Brighton underestimated the Preußen's speed, which was sailing at 16 knots, which is very fast for a tall ship. A legend has it that the skipper of the Brighton, he shouted, "A sailboat can't go that fast," and then the two collided. So that's too bad for the Preußen. So I hope you liked it. I hope this was helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to find out what sailing facts you shouldn't believe, click on the video on the screen.